Hello, my name is Zachary Haynes, and today I'll be sharing with you my peer evaluation macro. I created this peer evaluation macro to take a shortcut in some of the monotonous prep work we have to do for peer evaluations. So when we do peer evaluations, say we have 32 students in the class, we have to write a peer eval for each student, a sustain, improve, and then we have to answer yes or no questions for each. Now the instructor then has to take all these peer evals from these 32 peer evals and then has to copy and paste each peer eval into their own separate workbook. So that can take a long time, especially if you're talking about 32 people. So what this macro does is it creates student templates for each student. So that way it makes it easier for step 2, where it imports all the peer evals into the master workbook. And then 3, the macro prepares peer evaluation reports for each student, so that way they can be distributed to the students and they can be briefed on anonymously what the other students gave them for sustains and improves. Then 4, it saves each created report into their own workbook for that distro purpose. And then lastly, it offers to quit Excel to clean up all the workbook windows, because when you see at the end, there's going to be a ton of workbook windows. So it clears everything up off the screen, and it only leaves with the actual reports left that are saved. So I'm going to open up all the peer evals first. These peer evals you'd get from the students. So I put them all in one folder, that way they're consolidated, and I just open, and it opens all 32 of them at the same time. Okay, once that's finished, I'll go back and I'll open up the macro, the master macro. So this macro, or this sheet, is going to be the exact same one that you distribute, or that the instructors distribute to the students. Now this one actually has a macro. Notice it's a XLSM file, which means it's a macro file. Typically the one you send out would just be an XLSX. Now to execute the macro, all you have to do is you have to hold Command, Option, Shift, and hit M. And that will start the macro. If that was too hard, Command, Option, Shift, M, then you can go to your Developer tab, and then over here it'll say Macros, and then you select Run. So the macro we want to run here, I've got some other macros in here, but the macro you want to run is Create Peer Evaluation Reports, right here. Create Peer Evaluation Reports, and hit Run. So notice it does the same exact thing. I'm going to use the hotkeys that I created in it, and it's going to ask some prompt questions. Are all evaluation reports open for import? So if we didn't import, or if we didn't open up all of the evaluation reports first, it wouldn't import them in. So it's important that they're all open first. If I didn't do that, obviously I'd go back and open them all up at this time. But we did. So the next question is your master worksheet currently selected? I just selected our master worksheet, or original worksheet, so we're good to go. If another one of the worksheets are selected, then it's going to cause some problems. It's going to throw everything off. So I'm going to say yes. So the macro is executing. Now, it may seem that you can see it's doing stuff right now, but right now, the only way you can tell that it's doing something is that the mouse cursor is blinking and going back and forth. This macro will take a little time to sort all of the students and to finish executing for 32 students. The less students you have, the quicker it'll be. For 32 students, it should take about 4 minutes, which is still a lot faster than hours upon hours of copy and pasting. So at this time, you could go take a water break and then come back to your desk, and then it should be done. I'm going to skip ahead at this time up into the point where the macro is just finishing up. Hello, I'm back. So as you can see, the macro is changing and it's finishing up, and it provided me another command prompt. The macro is complete, quit Excel. So the 1, 2, 3 is explaining what the macro did, that it saved the reports for each student in the same folder that we pulled our raw peer evaluations, and also would we like to quit Excel to close all those windows. So as you can see on my screen, there are a lot of windows that are nested behind here. So I like to start fresh with this project with no other Excel projects open. That way at the end I can just say yes, and then it automatically quits Excel. As you can see, they're all quitting behind, and then I'm finished. And as you can see, all the reports have been created right here. I can copy and paste them into a folder that I want. Say I want to move them to the peer eval reports here. All right. And so each student, this would be obviously their name, so I can select on the student, and the report is finished. The numbers here are what I use to represent the sample students. So this evaluation is from student number 32, this evaluation is from student number 30, and this evaluation is from student number 18. As you can see, it goes on and on. This evaluation is from himself, student number 7. Okay? So that's the macro. In conclusion of what we covered, the macro creates student templates so that way they can be distributed, and it imports the peer evaluations from the original peer evaluations created by the students, and then it organizes all those peer evaluation reports for each student. It saves the reports into their own workbooks, and then it cleans up all the windows for Excel. So that way you have a quick peer evaluation report to easily distribute to all the students. If you have any questions, my name is Zachary Haynes, and if you have any troubleshooting issues, please let me know. Thank you.